Welcome to a brief documentary in a nation where people line up before sunrise to buy bread, where families survive on a single meal a day, where electricity fails for hours, sometimes days, and where water runs from taps only once or twice a week. One man lives like royalty, while ordinary Venezuelans stretch every bolivar just to buy a pack of pasta. Nicolas Maduro and his elite circle surround themselves with unimaginable wealth. Wealth so extreme, so out of reach that it feels almost fictional. But none of this is fiction. Every item, every mansion, every gold-laced luxury you are about to see is real, documented, investigated, seized, proven through financial records, court documents, international probes, leaked emails, and intelligence reports. This documentary exposes the 10 most extravagant, most shocking possessions connected to Maduro's regime, revealing a parallel universe hidden behind the suffering of a nation. Our story begins not with palaces or airplanes, but with cars. 9 luxury vehicles, seized by U.S. authorities, each worth more than the average Venezuelan will earn in a lifetime. These weren't simple cars. These were Mercedes-Benz G-Class SU versus BMW X6M competition models, Cadillac Escalades, Porsche Cayennes, purchased between $80,000 and $200,000 each. But how were they acquired? The answer reveals an international laundering system. One vehicle was bought through a shell corporation in Panama, shipped to a Caribbean island, registered in Florida, then quietly flown back to Caracas. Why the secrecy? Because while millions of Venezuelans stood in 24-hour gas lines, these cars spent their days in climate-controlled garages, leather interiors, imported parts, custom features. A full tank of gas for one of these cars equals an entire month's food budget for a Venezuelan family. Meanwhile, public buses break down mid-route. Mechanics improvise with old parts and online tutorials. Workers push buses manually to get them started. So why these cars? Because in corrupt regimes, luxury vehicles serve 3 purposes: status, mobility, security. And for the ruling elite, status is everything. In addition to cars, investigators found something even more shocking: raw wealth. Backpacks filled with US dollars and euros. Drawers stuffed with gold bars. Diamond-encrusted watches worth up to $150,000 each. Bracelets made of pure gold stored like emergency savings accounts. And here's where the story turns darker. Many of these treasures originate from illegal gold mining in the Arco-Minero region. This gold is extracted with exploitative labor, child workers, armed groups, environmental destruction. It is often called blood gold because it's soaked in violence. While Venezuelan families can't afford cooking oil, Maduro's wife made global headlines for eating gold-plated steak at Salt Bay's restaurant. That single photograph, a glittering steak held by a dictator, became a symbol of cruelty. One gold watch from their collection equals 4,000 monthly minimum wage salaries. A single backpack of seized cash could fund a small Venezuelan town schools for an entire year. As Venezuela's economy collapsed, another discovery emerged. Maduro's inner circle secretly owned luxury horse ranches. Not ordinary ranches. Not ordinary horses. These were high-pedigree racehorses trained for elite competitions, each worth between $30,000 and $100,000. Maintaining just one horse requires imported feed, specialized veterinarians, custom horseshoe tech stables, private security. Meanwhile, Venezuelans cannot afford meat. Many families eat once a day. Children faint in schools from hunger. Yet on these ranches, horses walk on hydraulic treadmills. Technology more advanced than what most public hospitals have. These ranches sit on fertile land often taken from farmers and repurposed for elite families. A brutal contrast. Inside the ranch gates, luxury. Outside the gates, survival. Next, we travel to Florida. Miami Beach, Coral Gables, Sunny Isles. Here, investigators found multimillion-dollar mansions linked to officials in Maduro's circle. Some included Infinity Pool's private cinemas designer, Italian interiors, personal boat, docks, armored bedrooms, bulletproof windows. These weren't vacation homes. They were escape routes. While Venezuelans ration medication, the elite spends more on pool cleaning each month than a family earns in a year. While hospitals run out of syringes and gloves, these homes contain private gyms, saunas, and imported marble floors. Perhaps the most obscene property is located in Cap Cana, Dominican Republic, Villa La Caracola, a massive coastal mansion with an infinity pool merging into the horizon, lavish suites with ocean views, private docks for yachts, backup generators, private water system, permanent electricity, full-time staff. While Venezuelan families use firewood to cook, this villa runs uninterrupted air conditioning. The cost to maintain this home each month is higher than the annual budget of several Venezuelan schools. It is a complete alternate reality, where the suffering of a nation simply doesn't exist. The regime's private jets are a world of their own. Dassault Falcon aircraft worth $30 to $50 million each. Inside these jets are leather reclining seats, luxury dining, secure communication systems, custom climate control, European catering. These jets cost more to maintain annually than it would cost to rebuild public transportation in several Venezuelan states. At 40,000 feet, there are no blackouts, no empty shelves, no hunger, but the jets have a darker history. Maduro's nephews were caught in a DEA sting and convicted for attempting to smuggle 800 kilograms of cocaine. They confessed they intended to use the presidential hangar. For the elite, travel means champagne in the sky. For ordinary Venezuelans, travel means walking across borders or clinging to overcrowded buses. Members of the regime also own yachts worth $3 million to $10 million. These yachts include teakwood interiors, master suite, yacht, tubs, jet skis, private chef, satellite internet. Meanwhile, Venezuelan beaches suffer from pollution and neglect. Families struggle to get clean water delivered by trucks. The symbolism is painful. While the nation sinks, the ruling class sails. International authorities have frozen hundreds of millions of dollars linked to the regime. These include Swiss bank accounts, Cayman Islands shell companies, cryptocurrency wallets, New York investment portfolios, Dubai luxury real estate. Money meant for schools, hospitals, and infrastructure sits locked overseas. While this money sits untouched, hospitals reuse, glove schools operate in darkness, roads collapse, bridges crumble. A nation once rich in oil now faces poverty deepened by corruption. Few people know of Maduro's obsession with spiritual advisors. Reports confirm he spent large sums flying in priests and ritual leaders from Cuba and other countries to perform ceremonies inside the presidential palace. But even more disturbing, investigators uncovered hidden art collections. Stolen museum pieces, rare paintings, historic artifact, sculpture, sculptural relics. Many of these were moved out of Venezuela and stored in climate-controlled vaults in Europe and the Caribbean. While public museums in Venezuela decay with leaking roofs and broken lights, priceless national treasures sit hidden in private hands. The final possession is not a car, not a mansion, not a jet. It is Venezuela itself. Miraflores Palace operates like a private fortress. Unlimited food, constant electricity, air conditioning, medical care, exclusive security forces. Outside those walls, millions suffer daily. Maduro controls the nation through the military, the judiciary, national media, the oil sector, the central bank, the intelligence agencies. When you control these, you control everything. Why would he need a yacht when he controls the Navy? Why would he need offshore accounts if he controls the Treasury? Why would he need private security if he commands the armed forces? For Maduro, Venezuela is not a country. It is a possession, private kingdom, a source of unlimited wealth for a small elite, paid for by the suffering of millions. This is not just a story of wealth. It is a story of a nation held hostage. A story of power without accountability. A story of suffering hidden behind the walls of palaces. Until this system changes, millions will continue to live in darkness, while the elite live in gold.